Hi guys, welcome to my kitchen. Tonight we are doing an OK beef, which we used to serve in my dad's restaurant, the Panda, many years ago. Not many restaurants and takeaways do them these days. I think a few of them do. It's very similar to a capital sauce. If you've ever had capital spare ribs or the beef canton, which comes on a sizzling platter, it's a very similar sauce to that. Okay, so tonight I'm going to be serving this on top of boiled rice, and I'm going to do myself some pan-seared sea bass as well. This is OK beef, and I'm doing OK chicken. Just out of preference, I prefer to eat chicken. I will eat red meat every now and then, but I do eat a lot more chicken and seafood. So I've got a pack of chicken. I can't remember exactly how big it was. It's about 260, 280 grams, 2 chicken breasts. And I've just chopped this into bite-sized pieces. I do need to get a blue glove in a second, so I might disappear off camera. I have half a cup of brown sugar. If you don't have brown sugar, you can use white sugar. 4 tablespoons of brown sauce. Now this is just your standard Daddy's HP sauce, so that's just 4 tablespoons of that one. I have 2 small onions or 1 large onion cut into slithers or ringlets. Now normally when we first start cooking this, I do the sauce, then I fry off the chicken, and then I'll fry the onion, and I'll then add the sauce into it. I haven't got enough room here, so what I'm going to do, when I make the sauce in a second, I'm going to add the onion straight away. There's half a cup of tomato ketchup, and that's any standard. I'm using Heinz because personally I prefer Heinz ketchup. There's a teaspoon of 5 spice. You can buy 5 spice from the supermarkets, but it's not quite potent enough. So I do advise, if you can, order it online if you don't have an Oriental superstore close to you, and just order a Chinese brand 5 spice because it will change the taste. There are 2 teaspoons of light soy sauce, 250 mils of plain water, and a tablespoon or so of corn flour with water. Okay, so before we start frying, I'm going to make the sauce just to get that out of the way, because once I've done the frying again, I don't really want to use the wok or move the wok even. So I'm just going to get my wok on, he says, and to that I'm going to add around about half a tablespoon of oil just to fry off the onions before I start making the sauce. So I'm just going to colour the onions ever so slightly, and there we go. Wok should be quite hot now. And I'm just going to add my chopped onion. Always a good sign when it sizzles when you add the ingredients. I'll add that to one side. So I'm just trying to get a bit of colour on my onion. But already my onions, just some of the edges are getting that nice caramelised brown colour. Okay, so I'm happy with the colour of my onions. I don't know if you can see in there, but they're nice and brown, a little bit translucent. And to that, what should we add first? You know what, to air caution on this, because I don't want to burn any of the sauces now, because this is red hot, I'm going to add the 250 ml of water. So in goes my water. Okay, someone's just asked, my favourite Chinese dish. Depends what mood I'm in. Sometimes, just about to add the 5 spice. Okay, so in go the 5 spice. I'm going to add my dries in first before I mucky up my spoon. Half a cup of demerara or brown sugar, in that goes. 2 teaspoons of light soy sauce. How many? 4 tablespoons of brown sauce, or Daddy's brown sauce, or HP sauce, whatever you've got. And lastly, half a cup of tomato ketchup. So my favourite Chinese dish. If I'm eating traditional Chinese food, I love duck and rice. I love kagao, which is a dim sum dish, which is king prawns in a rice pastry, I suppose. And they're steamed, absolutely beautiful. I love those. If I'm having Chinese takeaway, I love lemon chicken, sweet and sour chicken Hong Kong style, kung po king prawns, the list goes on, OK beef. Okay, so I'm going to allow that just to come to the boil now, and then I'll thicken with the corn flour. So my sauce is now boiling away. Because I've only got a small amount of corn flour, I'm going to let this just reduce by about a quarter. So not a lot before I thicken it and put it to one side. Now, if you didn't hear me at the beginning of the show, what is it? Is it a show? Of the beginning of the stream. Normally you would put the onions in just before you're about to serve. So you'll fry off the onions, add the sauce, add the beef, mix it all together. Because I'm limited on space and I've only got the one ring and not really a lot of room to put things around, I put my onions in early. This will mean my onions will be very, very soft when I eat it. I like it when they're soft anyway. If you prefer your onions a little bit, sort of like with a little bit of bite, make your sauce, fry off your beef, and then just before you add it all together, just get yourself a wok, fry off the onions, then add your sauce into that, and then add your beef on top, and then you'll have a lovely OK beef, just like we used to serve in the restaurants. It's lovely. I get so many messages and so many tags across social media where people have tried the recipes with great success as well. So it does make me really, really chuffed actually. So in here is just a tablespoon of corn flour with about 2 tablespoons of water. Because it's been sitting a little while, what happens is that it sort of like solidifies on the bottom. So all I'm doing is just mixing that quickly. Now this is already boiling. Now when you add the corn flour to hot liquid, you've got to keep it moving. If you don't, you end up with clumpy snot-like pieces, which isn't nice. No one wants to eat it. And you want the consistency, I suppose, not quite wallpaper paste, because obviously that's really thick, but not liquid either. So somewhere in between, if that makes sense. And if it doesn't, I'm sorry. I suppose the best way of describing it actually, you want it thick enough that when it coats the back of the spoon, you should be able to draw a line in the back of it and keep, I'm going to try and do it for you now, and it should, the line should stay, see the side? And you have no chicken on this yet. Oh, that's a nice sauce. Okay, my sauce is made. In here, I've got about 4 to 5 centimetres in depth of vegetable oil, okay? This is oil that I've used before, that's why it's not bright yellow. Obviously, that's new oil, you can see. That's kind of like a dark yellow colour. I think I've used this twice already, so this will be the last time that I use it. What I do with the oil, once it's gone cold, I bottle it. Because we use quite a lot of it and then we get it collected. There's a local cash and carry here and they actually collect dirty oil, and I believe it's made into biodiesel, which is fantastic. So, okay, so the oil I'm going to get up to about 170, 180 in heat. Okay, in here I have not quite one egg whisked and 280 grams of sliced chicken, okay? You could season this if you wanted. What I'm going to do now is massage the chicken into the egg. If you want to season it, I don't think you need it because the sauce is quite strong. By all means, add a pinch of salt now. And I'm just going to mix my chicken in with the egg, making sure that each piece is coated, okay? So just to recap, there's 250, 280 grams or 2 chicken breasts chopped into slices, mixed with a whisked egg. Again, if you want to season it, add a pinch of salt now and mix it in. If not, there you go. So to this, I'm going to add, what's that, about 1.5 cups of corn flour, I guess. Might not need all of it, so I'll add, first of all, about 1 cup of corn flour to the chicken. Try not to make a mess. And I'm just gently, if you can just see that, going to fold the corn flour into the chicken and the egg, and I just want to get the chicken coated so it's no longer clumped together and I've got individual pieces. So I've just added the rest of the corn flour and I'm gently just mixing the chicken now with the corn flour, separating it from clumps into individual slithers or slices. And you can see that it's all coming apart now. So some of it's still clumping together, but I just keep working it into the corn flour and it will slowly work itself into its own individual pieces. Remember, when you're adding anything to hot oil, try and lay it away from you. So place it into the oil and then drop it away from you. Okay? So we're going to do this hopefully in one batch, or maybe 2 batches, we'll see. Now this chicken is really, really thin, so I am going to put it all in together. You could do this in batches if you're worried about burning it or overcooking your chicken. I think it's only going to take about 3 or 4 minutes from the last piece going in anyway, so I'm quite happy just to get it all in together. Okay, so let's try and clear some of this rubbish out of the way, because I do like a clean workstation when I'm cooking. If you haven't got one of these, they're about £4, £5, £6 from a Chinese supermarket. They're called a wok spider. I have 3 various sizes because I like collecting kitchen kit, but they are invaluable. Invaluable, I think is such a word. And it just means I can get everything out a lot quicker rather than trying to pull them out individually with tongs, which you could do, or a pair of chopsticks. But if you can, get yourself one of these for the sake of £5 or £6, especially if you're cooking quite a few dishes out of either of my books, because there is quite a lot of frying in it. But you've got to remember as well, these are Chinese takeaway cookbooks. Chinese takeaway food is stir-fried, fried, broiled. That's about it really. Normally it's fried, because it's quick. That's why. Normally we've got deep fat fryers going. So yeah, so if you are going to cook from either of my books, get one of these, well worth it. Okay, chicken's crispy, taking on nice colour, so I'm going to switch my wok off. I'm going to take some of this, shake off some of the excess oil, and pop this onto my kitchen paper to drain. What's that? I've got somebody else. Okay, so that's all the chicken out. Oh, nearly, just dropped a piece. I shall leave that in there. I'm going to ooch that over. Okay, so now normally guys, you'd put this back on the stove and warm it up. Obviously before you warm it up, what you'll do, because mine's got the onion in already, you'll get the wok, get it nice and hot, add about half a tablespoon of oil, fry off the onion just so it starts taking some colour, then throw the sauce in, then throw the chicken in, okay? That way you'll retain some of that crunch in the onion. My onion will be soft because I cooked the onion in the sauce earlier and it's now been sitting for a good 15 minutes or so. I'm going to grab this chicken as best I can and literally dump it into my sauce. I'll get rid of that now. And I'm just going to coat each of my pieces of chicken with this OK sauce. Normally this recipe is for beef, so obviously that's what you do with the beef. We'll now serve my OK chicken. You know what? I was going to try and do it delicately, but it's going to take me ages with a wooden spoon, so I didn't bring a serving spoon in. Lovely. And there we have it guys, my OK chicken made for you on this very special Wednesday evening. Give it a go. It's a fantastic dish. It's not my recipe. This is a recipe that was used way back when even in the Panda. My dad's a fantastic man and I love you very much. And yeah, thank you for everything. All right guys, go and have a fantastic evening and I shall see you next Wednesday. So next Wednesday, 6:30. Okay guys, that really is enough of me waffling on. I shall see you same time, same place next week, Wednesday, 6:30 PM, across hopefully all of the social media. So that's Instagram, Facebook and YouTube.